what's the real and what's
I
fake.
know how to draw that line in entertainment. Like some of that stuff on, basically, one of my boys always say this. He be like, social media is a highlight reel.
Yep.
Everybody just gonna show their new car, their new, like, you know, all the good stuff. And then when you stroll on, you see good.
Right.
So you be like, damn, everybody doing good, and look at me, I'm a bum over here.
But think about this though. Everybody show what's good, but let's just say somebody did show what's bad. They get talked about, ridiculed. Like people, you know what I'm saying? So like this is one of the biggest things. Like people say crying on social media. Like people look down like, bro, you gotta be psychotic to be crying on social media. Okay, but my thing is, what if they actually really going through something and like that's their way of saying I need help. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. It's some people that will play you, like they'll cry, make you feel soft, or make you, pull at your heartstrings and just trying to play you. But it's like you can't really win. It's like, okay, social media, yes, it's nothing but a highlight reel. But if I put something that really bothered me or anything like that, I'm gonna be canceled. I'm gonna be laughed at, talked about.
Big old black man, peanut soft, man.
It's really listen, you can't win. Hey, I'm not saying I'm gonna cry on social media. I'm just saying for people that do cry, listen, it's group chats that talk about people that cry on social media. And they Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Armand back again with another podcast. Listen, listen, me and this dude been rocking for a minute, man. I think I was in the circle first, but he came in, he locked it down. When he proposed, got married, and he was already in the group. They went to college together out of our little group that we got. And he came in and really, I was the outcast. It took me a while to gain my wings to get into the group. You know what I'm saying? They ain't really trust me in there. I was acting crazy. But Denzel always been locked in. So listen, man, this is my dog, man. I got a great guest. In a lot of ways, I look up to him, man. I see what he's doing. I watch the example that he's setting for his kids, and just how he able to lead his family, and also just own up to mistakes, right? We all make mistakes, and just seeing him, own up to certain stuff and be like, yeah, you right, Tree. I was wrong. It was hard for me to just be like, alright, I'm wrong, because I'm gonna argue. Like I get a little confrontational, so I argue you down. But it's something that I had to learn, and just watching him, through text, reading the messages, and just seeing how he, interacts, and just starting to really get better and find his groove as a husband, as a father, as a man, and it's great to see. But Denzel, say what's up to the podcast, bro.
Yo, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. So, let me tell y'all about Denzel, man. So, listen, it's Denzel Milton, age 30, career/job. He's a senior Medicare Advantage Performance Analyst. It's a healthy name. College/degree. He went to the University of South Carolina. I always got to stay with them Gamecocks on the show. BA. BA in public health, minor social work. Years in his profession. He's had 8 years in his profession, so he's been doing this for almost a decade. Got a lot of knowledge, got a lot of game. When it comes down to healthcare, this the go-to guy. When you filling out that, man, what I need for insurance, what I want. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get you right. He be like, listen, get the PPO. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. But Denzel, man, it wouldn't be big boss talk if we didn't do the 2 truths and a lie. So I can't wait to hear your 2 truths and a lie, and hopefully I can catch the lie. I don't know.
All right. 2 truths and a lie. Let me see how good I am at this. But I see you got a pretty solid record right now.
Yeah, I did all right last time. I've been kind of losing with the new guests, like the recommendations. I can't get them. But I mean, I think I'm at least above 500 right now.
Okay. Let me see if I can throw you off your pivot right quick.
Let's see.
All right. 2 truths and a lie. First one. I completed 3 years of high school.
Okay.
Number 2. Me and Joe Biden was in the same room. President Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Number 3, I'm in the process of starting my own scholarship, something local in my hometown.
That's tough. First of all, the first one, I completed 3 years of high school. I mean, I feel like that one is. I mean, I ain't even gonna say it. 3 years of high school. Okay, you was in the same room as Joe Biden, big money Joe. I hope he forget these student loans for sure.
Back Joe, come through.
Yeah, and then you starting your own kind of like scholarship back in your hometown of G Town. Okay, got you. Well, I mean, I think freak, dude. I mean, I feel like the last two you weren't pump fake about. But the thing about it is, you said I completed three years of high school when I know you completed 4. So I feel like the number was off, but it's still true because you completed 3 years. Man, same room as Joe Biden. Scholarship fund for back home.
Got you stumped right now, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty stumped. All right, listen, I'm gonna say you wasn't in the same room as Big Money Joe. And I really want to go with the first one though. You said you completed. Say that statement. You completed 3 years, or you only completed. What's the statement?
I did 3 years of high school, then graduated. I graduated high school year 3.
You graduated high school year 3. Ain't no way, man. I'm going. I'm going Joe Biden. That's the lie.
Joe Biden. Yeah. That's the truth.
I knew, man. What's the lie?
Joe Biden spoke at my college graduation when I graduated USC 2014. He was a guest speaker. This was before he was the president.
Okay, got you. But what was the lie is the 3 years?
No, that's true. I did 3 years. I graduated high school at 17.
Dang.
Yep. I technically didn't have a senior year. I graduated as a junior.
Ah, that's crazy. Okay. But then you lied about the hometown scholarship.
So the scholarship thing, currently I'm not in the process, but it is something that I want to do. It is It is on my bucket list.
Okay, bet. Let me talk to me about the scholarship though. So the goal behind the scholarship, like where did the idea come from, and then just what will the scholarship, be about? Like what's the criteria to, hit that scholarship? Have you thought it through it that far?
Yeah. Thought it through like in full detail, no, but I do have, in a sense, like I want to do something for like my neighborhood. I want to start small, like the neighborhood I was born and raised in. Kind of do something along the lines of when I was coming out of high school, on my 3rd year about to graduate, I was in like this little program with one of the ladies from Miss Evelyn Drayton. Shout out to her.
Yeah.
She was from the community, and she had like this unofficial type scholarship. Well, I wouldn't say unofficial because she did have like
the scholarship,
just stuff. But she got like a few of us together in the community, kind of like some of us that was trying to en route to go to college or have potential to go to college. And she was taking us to like some few campus visits and stuff like that.
That's dope.
And then my first 2 semesters in college, she did something like, she gave us like some pocket change to go towards our books, or whatever college expense that you need.
Right.
Kind of like I want to do something similar to that, especially like in my area where not a whole lot of people really go to college. I don't necessarily want to push that on them. I want to make it flexible, kind of like something for if you want to go a 4-year or 2-year or even take a trade.
Yeah.
Something that kind of like support you because, the financial burden of, kind of leaving your hometown can be like hard on some people, and especially like some individuals from my area where, that additional resource can, benefit. Give them like a little bit of boost.
For real.
And I kind of want to do something along that line of kind of just find IDing people who really want to take, their after high school want to take things to the next level, whether that's a trade or 2-year or even a 4-year, and kind of like fund it.
Bro, that's hard. I rock with that. Like, I mean, how like, cause you said Miss Evelyn Drake, right? But you
Yeah.
know how important was that for you? You know what I'm saying? She's taking you to different college campuses. You know, I've never had the opportunity to. Well, I ain't gonna say never. It was just the only time I really went to a college campus was during like my recruiting time when I was just trying to be like, all right, I want to play ball, and I was just like, I had the opportunity to go to South Carolina State,
Right.
and just look at the campus, and then I went to a USC, the first ever USC football game I ever went to. Was able to go there, and then I did a tour of USC, got to see the campus and see how big it was, but like I never really branched out and was like, let me take a visit to X amount of colleges to see what I like, what I vibe with, what I rock with. So it's like, how important, I know that would have been important for me, but how important was it for you to have Miss Evelyn to say, all right, let's go visit these schools, and did it kind of help in your decision making of where you wanted to go?
Yeah, I'll say it was different, especially during this time. This was my junior year, right? Mm-hmm. So when I did 3 years in high school, stuff kind of came at me like really fast. Yeah. It wasn't primarily graduating early wasn't really my choice just yet. Mm-hmm. I was one of those kids that was like half and half. I was like half nerd and half like 1 foot into like local politics and just doing stupid stuff pretty much.
Yeah.
I knew like college was my long-term vision.
Yeah.
But my vision was kind of blurry at the same time.
My boy had 1 foot academics, 1 foot in the streets.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily
not the streets, but just 1 foot,
You know how it go when you like a young teenager and a product of your environment in a sense, you kind of want to play both ways. So we did have like some people in the community that wanted to be like, hey. Every time I would go like left field, they were like, nah, you got potential. Come back this way. You one of the good ones. We got to like groom you.
Yeah.
So, so she kind of like started that organization. And as far as like the college campus, so I was in a position my sophomore year when my mom came back to register me for like high school. Mm-hmm. Teachers was kind of like, giving me, my guidance counselor gave me my breakdown. Yeah. And was like, by his senior year, you're going to only have like 2 classes and the other half of your day is going to be free.
Yeah.
Mom had like a knee-jerk reaction and she was like, nah, you're already kind of like on the line. And if he gets out of time, there's a possibility he's probably going to be doing something stupid. I mean, at the time I didn't really see it, but she kind of sort of was right? Moms, I was right. So like, I'm rushing now for like, applying for colleges, and it's kind of like I wasn't expecting to be doing all of this just yet. So, and around this same time as Evelyn Drake, she had this program. We went to college was like local. Okay. So Coastal Carolina was nearby. We did one of the technical colleges. What else did she take? I want to say she went to South Carolina State or something like that.
Is Francis marrying to y'all?
Francis married like 1 hour out. That's not too far. Yeah. I want to say I was on Francis Marion campus too. Yeah. So now it's kind of like I'm rushing to do like college applying and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So she kind of like I'm seeing college campuses like for real now. Right. So I would definitely say it was kind of like one of those crunch time type deals, being that like a lot of things was coming at me. Yeah. It kind of.
I mean, you grew up quick. I mean, as a junior,
I was basically a sophomore and a senior overnight.
Right. I mean, that's crazy because, I mean, I think you were 17, 16, 17 at the time as a junior.
When I graduated.
Yeah, like 17. So it's like you really are still a baby, at least. Like, obviously, you don't want to think you're a baby because you're like, all right, I'm getting ready to go off to college. I'm getting ready to do my thing.
When you're a teenager, you think you've grown and you know everything. Everybody trying to give you good advice. It's like you hear it. I had it like stuck in my mind, but at the same time, it's like I'm outside with the boys. Like, you gonna do it for like little class clown type stuff, and
that's a fact.
You know how
man, trust me, I get it. You gotta catch me outside. But your mama did say you half a day, and man, listen, we was out. I don't even know my mama know, but we used to be in IB class. We used to skip periods. We used to head back to my crib. It used to be crazy. Like just everybody used to come just hang out, and then by the time school let out, you know when your mama head back home. So it's like, listen,
Yeah.
y'all gotta go. Cause I gotta make sure that the dish is clean and the trash is taken out before she
Pretend like
get
you was
here.
there all day.
Yeah, I was at school all day. All right, bet. But that's what's up, man. I think back to what we was talking about. I just think that having something like that, be able to take kids and we've in Rock Hill there was programs in place like hoops. I remember hoops, the little basketball league. They used to have something, and they used to take like little kids off the different colleges, grooming them to get ready to like, hey, you getting ready to take this next step. Look at some colleges. I just never, unfortunately, just never been able to be a part of it. Even though my grandma and my mom really tried to get me heavy in a lot of just different activities, I just never.
Yeah.
I was always busy, like sports and just either that or I was just trying to stay at home, kick it with the fellas, and I just never really had the urge to really go out there and just search. And I think that's key for a lot of people. Like if you plan on taking that next step, like you definitely want to look at the college campus. I really wish I did a little bit more research on where I was going versus just saying like, all right, I want to go here because of this. You know what I mean?
Like I wish that I kind of was like, I wish I was more serious. I knew I wanted to go to college. I knew that's probably was like my line of, my cards or whatever. But it was like, it still was blurry. It's like, I'm gonna worry about that my senior year.
Yeah.
So even though like she did take us to like a few, like the whole process was still rushed at the same time. I didn't even know a major. Like
I don't know.
Yeah.
What you want to be?
Like if you said like, what was your dream college? Like I never really had one.
Yeah. Man, so how'd you get into I got like a 1A, 1B type question. So it's like, how did you decide that you wanted to go to USC for one? And then did you ever want to go to a HBCU? Do you regret not going to a HBCU, like that experience?
Yeah. Actually, I went to a HBCU.
What?
Yeah.
Where you went?
I went to Benedict at first. So, okay.
Oh, this man went to Benedict?
Matter of fact, I'm going to tie this whole story together. Everything. Everything pretty much connect, right? So, my junior year, now that I decided that, because I was on the honors track, right?
Okay.
I was taking high school classes in middle school. So, technically, I was ahead. So, that's why my schedule was, by senior year, was either like, I could have like a half day, or it was something like, go to a technical college or whatever. So I guess my mom kind of like feared me having like that idle time. Yeah. And she was like, no, I really prefer you to kind of go out like to college and like, get away and kind of like see a different perspective pretty much. Yeah. Like now that this was like rushed, like I'm literally doing SAT, ACT, like back to back to back to back to back. I'm applying for like a bunch of colleges, like back to back to back. I'm looking for scholarships now. Like I'm really like, basically I'm a junior, like speeding up my whole process. I'm doing a whole lot as a junior right now. So it was like, I didn't really have no breathing room. Technically at this time, I didn't even really know what I wanted to major in. So it was kind of like, I don't know. So I think I got down, like I went to, my high school is kind of like 90% black. Okay. And, at my high school kind of like had an HBCU like culture already. Yep. So HBCUs was already recruit heavily at my high school. So I wasn't foreign to like HBCUs at all, or HBCU like culture and all of that stuff. Okay. Schools like Clemson and USC was a little more foreign to me. Got you. Those schools, I mean, they recruited, but they kind of like, they were specific in their recruiting. They kind of like wanted like specific kids. They didn't really, they didn't recruit kind of like everybody. Yeah. So like, I would definitely say originally, I already knew HBC. I have like a few HBCU alums in my fam. So I originally wanted to go to Howard. Ooh. And then like, we tried to do like the number crunching, and then we realized like how expensive that was. And my mom was like, I support it, but that's kind of like, you got to bring that back a little bit, right? I'm telling you. I mean, because it's a real thing, like I said, like the financial burden, like the reason why I want to do like the scholarship too, because you need money. Yeah. Even if you get like a full ride, you still need that pocket money for like to eat or whatever it is. So I kind of like drilled in on like all the SC HBCUs, and I came down to State, Claflin, and Benedict.
And you chose Benedict?
And I had my paperwork ready for Claflin. Like literally, like I was about to go to Claflin. I knew one thing about like my college experience. I wanted to be in a major city.
Okay, that makes sense.
It was Orangeburg and it was Columbia at that time.
Orangeburg.
So, everybody was like, nah, go to Claflin, quote unquote, like better on paper.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, go to Claflin, then go to Benedict or whatever. So like I was like, nah. So I kind of like committed to like Claflin, and like the day before move-in day, I was like, Mom, I think I'm gonna go to Benedict.
The day before.
She telling her, she like, you know, telling people that you about to come out. And so like, if you don't know nothing about HBCU, you're not officially a student until you sit in the gym for like 8 hours and do all your paperwork.
Really?
Then you become a student.
Wow.
So like, I told them that I was coming.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, last minute, I'm like, I just rather be in Columbia. I'm going to Benedict.
Right.
And so like my mom went along with it. She took me to Benedict and I did my paperwork at Benedict and all that stuff. And I officially became a Benedict student.
What?
And that's 17 years old. I'm in Columbia now.
In the Met. In the Met at 17. Man, that's Okay. So you went to Benedict, and you hit on a point that's pretty. It's not funny, but I can relate to it because, you know, we all grew up with these dreams of like, man, I want to go to, you know, Howard. Like you said, you want to go to Howard, but then you get in the process and you realize how expensive it is, and because it is out of state, you got to pay out of state prices. And I mean, I feel like it's not fair because it's like, why? If you go into a school, it should be like a set price for the school. It shouldn't be no.
I wish too. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be no advantages for somebody that's in the state versus somebody that's, you know, out of state. Like, that's not fair. And a lot of people don't go to schools like Howard, Hampton, those North Carolina A&Ts, like those, some of those top HBCU schools because it's expensive.
Yeah, unless you got like real top notch like grades, money and scholarship, and all that stuff. And then another issue is, you know, like I want to say DC, probably about 8 hours from my hometown. I mean, of course, my mom could have drive me up there, but you know, you got to take time off of work, and you know,
back and forth.
That could kind of be a burden too. Like a lot of people don't really think about like transportation or flight back and forth, and that's an all-day trip, man. It's 8 hours. That's like going there and back. Nobody gonna want to do like 16 hours in one day or something like that. So the logistics just wasn't
right.
Allowing to go to Howard. So I was between like the South Carolina schools. So I was focusing on, because all I knew really at that time was HBCUs.
Right. Okay. And then how you just skip it? Okay, Benedict, you did what, a semester, a year, and you was.
I did a full year.
Full year, and you said, and how did you get to Carolina? You graduated from Carolina, so how you get from Benedict to Carolina?
Yeah. So I'm at Benedict now, right? So I'm in a new place, so I wasn't like I said, my high school was mostly black. You know, I'm familiar with like black culture and all that stuff. So I'm at the HBCU now. I wasn't necessarily like culture or shell shock because like everything that was going on, I kind of in a sense was used to.
Right.
The only thing was different now. It's a bigger environment and it's a college now.
Right.
So of course, you know, I'm doing my academic thing. Like I might play stupid and stuff like, but I can do my work. Like my first semester I had a 4.0, and then like my next semester I had like a 3-something other. It's kind of like my mom was like, when she was telling me to move, I knew it was time to grow.
Okay.
Or whatever. So like when I was at Benedict, and how I mentioned like I was 1 foot in like being a nerd, and then 1 foot into like doing whatever like stupid stuff around me or whatever.
Yeah.
I had like an older cousin and like some people from around my way. They were in Columbia too.
Okay.
They were staying like in Broad River at the time. So I was like doing my work during the daytime, doing whatever I had to do, and leaving campus to go hang with them and tearing up the city and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I kind of had like, I think I would say I'm a reflective person.
Mm-hmm.
So one day I just kind of like had this, I don't know, I guess it really hit me. It's kind of like the reason why my mom wanted me to kind of get away to kind of like, drill in and focus is, I'm doing the same thing that I was doing in high school. Like,
that makes sense.
Half nerd and then half, running around or whatever. And I was like, yo, I really need like something different. And I felt like when I was there, like it was fun. I love HBCUs and I love Benedict. But I felt like me individually, I wasn't necessarily growing.
Gotcha.
Or I wasn't necessarily changing or anything like that. And and I had another cousin at USC, Carolina, at one point, and then she would like ride me around or whatever. And I was thinking about my whole process in high school, like rushing to do all the application and all that stuff. And I was like, I really rushed my whole college process, and I didn't really like thought it, like nothing out, like even down to like my major. I just said I went to school for business at the time, even though I was doing well in business. I was like, I really want to like try this again.
Yeah.
And then like I didn't know like where I would. So she put a bug in my ear. She'd be like, if you think you're not getting what you want out of your college experience, you could transfer. And I was like, oh, were you could do that? I thought once you go to a college,
committed.
You stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm thinking about it. I'm sitting in my room one day. I'm looking at other colleges, like other HBCUs, and I'm looking at. I was like road tripping a little bit. I was hanging with friends and stuff that I knew from other schools. So I considered Winthrop at one point. I had a cousin at Clemson. I had a cousin at USC. And I was like looking at those three schools, and I had a cousin at Upstate. But it was something about USC or whatever. It's like, because I always thought USC was just a white people school. That's really what I thought.
Yeah.
And then, like I went over there with her, and I saw like all these black people, and I was like,
you saw a little bit of you over there.
Yeah, and I was like, yo, and like, the culture over there was like a little bit different, and I was like, it just, you start getting nosy. Get kind of a little nosy. It's like, I wonder. And I was like, she said I can transfer, and I was like, I'm still in Columbia. I still really want to be in the city. I don't really want to go to like Orangeburg or nothing. Like, just the biggest city in South Carolina or Charleston, but Charleston a little bit close to home too. So it's like,
can't do that.
I don't know. So one day I just played around, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a transfer. And I told my mom about it. She was like, you sure this is what you want to do? And she, and this time I was like, I want to kind of buckle down and say, like, what do I want out of life?
Yeah. And
then I transferred, the guy accepted, and I carried my talents up the road pretty much.
Up the road. The rest was history.
Yeah. So I'm at USC now.
Bro, that takes a lot of growth and maturity on your behalf, just because you felt like, maybe you felt like the classes was maybe a little too easy. It felt very much, high schoolish. But then you also talked about just the habits, that you was having, as far as like, I'm kind of doing the same thing that I was doing, at home to now. And I relate to that, because you do want to, when you get to college, man, you do grow a lot within those 4 years. You manage, you learn how to, for one, manage time. You learn how to manage yourself. You understand how you learn, because people think you could take the same mentality, and some people can, don't get me wrong, but some people think they can take the same learning mentality from high school and apply it in college, and it's not the same. Like for me, it wasn't the same. Even though I had smaller classes, like I went to a smaller school, and the classes were smaller, but the information was given at a very much rapid pace. It was just like, all right, it was just quick. And to me, I just felt like I had to really learn how to study, or really say, okay, no playing games tonight, with the fellas in the dorm room, and like sitting down and say, all right, I need to study. So like them 4 years or 5 years, however long it take you learn so much about yourself. And then also, not only do you learn so much about yourself, but you start to, hopefully, a lot of people came on this podcast and they say they wish they would have networked a lot more in college. And so now if you networking, you meeting different people that look like you, but they don't act like you, come from a different lifestyle than you. I come from a single parent household. They come from a mom and a dad household. It's just all different. And you can learn from everybody. And I think that's what the college experience is supposed to be about. Don't get me wrong. I feel like you definitely need to have fun. Like
For sure.
don't go down. Have fun, do your thing, but understand what's the main thing. You know what I'm saying? Is to graduate. That's the main thing in college, and so that's like I said. I think that was very mature of you to say, all right, I'm not growing as much. I'm not changing how I feel like I should be. Let me head up the road to USC and do my thing. I'm glad you didn't go to Winthrop.
Winthrop was pretty lit. Like the few road trips, I had a couple road trips to Winthrop. Winthrop was pretty solid, man.
Man, listen, a lot of the fellas say, man, Winthrop where it's at. Only because of the ratio. The ratio is mad crazy at Winthrop. But you do have Charlotte up the road and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I just think about, I guess because we grew up
in moment.
It's
like how my mom was saying, kind of get away.
Yeah, so get away.
That was your getaway. Yeah,
I had to get away.
But you made an interesting point when you said, like, you start learning from people. Like how I mentioned, like I came from a mostly black school and was at an HBCU. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of like used to everything that was going on versus somebody who came from like a more half and half school or a mostly white high school. And then they come to HBCU.
Yeah.
That's their culture shock. It's like, wow, I've never been around so many black people. My culture shock was at USC.
Okay.
But that was my first time ever in a white environment. Like I had two culture shocks at USC.
Okay.
First, I was like, I've never been around that many white people at one time ever. People,
y'all, wow, what's going on?
Seeing like how they maneuver like the different types.
Yeah.
That was my first culture shock. And I was like, oh, okay, I see. And then my second came from like even the black population. Because USC got like a lot of like middle class type black.
Yes.
And that was my first time like seeing that. It was like, like people who had like two parents. I mean, I'm not saying like,
that makes it different, right?
It don't exist, but it wasn't like my majority, I guess.
I got you.
It was like a lot of like these kids weren't like first generation college students a lot of times, and kids who kind of had parents that was like a doctor and a lawyer and kind of came from money, and it was like, excuse my ignorance. You might be laughing at
No, their expectations are way higher than people, like, especially for me. Like it was just way higher.
Yeah, it was like that. I didn't know that. Like black people kind of was. It sounds like an ignorant statement now, but I'm just talking about what I've been seeing. Like, it was different. It was like even to the point. Like, at first, I was kind of discouraged. Like, like. I don't know if I could really on these kids' level right now. But then I was like, man, you know what? Forget it. I got to compete with them. Like, I can't let them, like, outdo me and outbeat me and everything. So, yeah, it was different.
Nah.
But it was something I had to adjust to and grow with.
That's one of the two things I definitely went through. And I'm an adapter. So, I'm not, like, it was a culture shock, but I definitely adapted. And then I also, like, I guess... when Maya used to be like, you hang around with your white friends and act different and da-da-da-da. I'm like, I mean, of course I'm going to act different. I can't be, you know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't never seen that up close and personal. So it's like.
You don't give everybody the same, you got to code switch sometimes. Even with other black, like, even if you got black friends in group one and then you got like group two.
Yeah.
Group one, group two you don't do everything with everybody.
Yeah, you can't, man. But that culture shock, like, there's definitely a difference. And like you said, when you saw the majority, like the white people, how they act, how they dress, what they like to do, you know what I'm saying? It's different from us. And then I did hear, you talked about just, when you talk about USC, like y'all have a lot of, and I sat down with a lot of USC people, and y'all are top notch when I think about like the bar, the expectation, especially when you was going probably, not saying you old or nothing, but social media wasn't popping like it is now. So kids are exposed to a lot of different things, so they can see people graduating, getting PhDs, getting their doctorates. Like that's normal now. Like to evolve at that rate and to go that far. Back then when we was going, it was just like, all right, you want to graduate? Lucky enough if you want to go get your master's or whatever, because you want to be set apart. But obviously we know now that's changing, but it's just like, it is a culture shock. And people, and people need to go through that. Like that's how you learn to adapt. And I was just able to, because I was just able to adapt. And some things I did, I did try with them, and I enjoyed it. It's some things that I like to do with my white friends that I may not do with my black friends. But I feel like sometimes I'm in the middle of things because I don't do the same things like my old high school friends do. You feel what I'm saying? Like sometimes I feel outcasted. It's like I'm not in the group no more. And so then you start to realize when the people start telling you like you'll outgrow some friends. Not saying that you just on a different lane. I'm not better than nobody. I'm not better than any of my friends.
That's exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
You took in a different lane right now. You got different priorities. Not saying that they priorities doesn't matter. It's just you just taking different routes. And to me, that make me feel uncomfortable because it's like, man, we from the same situation. Like I've been rocking with you since I was 5-6 years old, and it's hard to attach yourself and say, all right, I got to do what's best for me and the fam now. It's not like I can't hang with the boys all the time. So I always get caught up in the mix, and I'm starting to learn how to just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like just if people don't want to go after the same things that I'm trying to achieve, I can't blame them. Or they don't have that same type of goal or vision, I can't blame them or look at them any type of way. It's just like I gotta stay focused on what I want to do and what I want to get out of life, because you only get one. And I ain't really trying to BS, the first couple. You know what I'm saying? I just ain't trying to mess around. Like it's very important to me that I stay focused and stay on the right path, which I see, you guys are doing. But man, we're gonna move forward. We're gonna move forward, and we're gonna talk about we want to talk about what made you get into the healthcare profession? Like why healthcare?
Yeah, so my first major course was business, and I was doing well with it. I actually how like a lot of people kind of know they want to be like one thing like their whole life, like I'm gonna be a doctor. I never really had like a thing. Yeah. So honestly, like I said, I went into college not really knowing what I wanted to do with my life. My mom is a nurse, so I remember when she used to talk to me, she used to say, when you go to school, do something in healthcare or do something in tech. Okay. Those jobs are always going to be around. And it was like, when I thought healthcare, I always thought just doctors, nurses, hospitals. And I'm like, I don't really want to be no doctor. I don't want to be a nurse or nothing. I'm like, I don't know. But like in high school, you ever took those like little tests? Mm-hmm. Like they try to like do those little personality type thing.
The type A, type B.
Yeah. My personality used to always come back stuff like analytical and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And what kind of job I'm gonna do with like being analytical? I don't even really know. So it's just one of those things. You just throw your paper away. Like I don't. Yeah, whatever. People know what they talking about. So it's like, so when I got to USC, my first major was athletic training, and so like I had like 2010. So I had spring football. Yeah. This when I want to say Gilmore was there and all them boys.
You was there when the golden years.
Yeah, we was so hot at this time.
Yeah.
I don't think Clowney wasn't there yet, so we had like
Melvin
Ingram,
Alshon, Ace Sanders.
Yeah,
I had the squad.
So I did like spring football. I worked with them. That was fun. I think I had like some other sports. I had to do like softball and I had to do swimming.
Okay.
I was like on my little clinical rotation, about to fall asleep. I'm like, and then I had like another reflective moment. I was like, okay, I can't like cherry pick and say I just want to do this one sport, because like when you athletic train, you gotta
all sports,
sport everything basically. So it's like I don't think I'm gonna stick with this major because I only like certain things about it. Like I like the healthcare stuff. The healthcare stuff was cool. So it's like, okay, this stuff kind of, straight. But I switched my major to like public health. I was like in the little office one day, just looking through like the major book, whatever you want to call it, like different majors.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try this public health thing. So my major was kind of like a broad public health, because healthcare is kind of like real wide. There's like a bunch of avenues.
Okay.
And then I discovered that you could do business stuff with healthcare. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I started getting interested in like the business side of healthcare. And I was like, I did good at Benedict when I was in the business school. I kind of like this healthcare stuff.
Piecing it
So I
together.
started kind of like mixing those things. And then I pick up a minor like social work. I always kind of like wanted this, like help, I guess.
Yeah.
So I wanted to feel like, social work usually work with like a lot of at-risk people
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do like helping at-risk people like on the business side. And that was my major. And I started enjoying it. I had like a wide range of classes and it was like, yeah, I think it's the one. Right.
Got you. So you did. So obviously I talked to a lot of people in healthcare as well. So I talked to, your wife Tree, you got Mariah, you got Tevin. It was, I just talked to a bunch, but everybody, it's funny because everybody does something different.
I was going to say, I bet you get 30 different answers every single time.
Yeah, it's like
the same thing.
It's broad, like, and don't get me wrong, some of the concepts are the same. Like when you talk about just healthcare insurance, like the concepts are the same. Like those things will probably never change. But you guys work in a lot of just different areas. Like healthcare is super broad. Like you do the business side. I know Tevin do like inspection side. And then, Mariah's working with apps and stuff like that. And then Tree's working with how to get people, the proper, pharmacy and stuff. So it's like, it's broad. So it's hard for me to like, and I think it's hard for me to, if somebody was to come and say, hey, I want to do healthcare, I wouldn't be able to tell them like what avenue. I could just only show them like y'all and just say, well, this is the different lanes of healthcare. Like you could do business, pharmacy, you can do X, Y, and Z. It's kind of like whatever your personal preference. So was there resources in school to help you kind of dial in on the business? Because you talked about there's a lot of ranges of classes, but do you wish that you had like more of a, what I'm saying? I don't know if they had people come and talk to y'all about healthcare, like just the different facets of healthcare. Or was it you trying to figure out, like you just kind of fell upon it, like, okay, cool, I didn't know they had business, I'm falling, I think this is my route.
I fell into it really.
Okay.
So it was like my major, so I had like a BA. So the BA track was kind of like a wide range. They give you everything. They had like epidemiology if I wanted to be interested in like disease or like we're going through a pandemic right now.
Right.
Those people kind of like surveillance and do all of like behind the scene work and research on pandemics. I did like hospital. I had a class in like hospital administration and like health econ type stuff.
Yeah. Basically
balancing books and trying to manage a hospital. I had community health classes, kind of like, you campaigning like something like stop smoking or healthy eating or like some STD awareness. Like, so I had like I had everything in healthcare. That was like my major track.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't necessarily like dial into one thing just yet, but I knew like, the different avenues. I started liking like different stuff, but I never had like the one thing that I wanted to commit to. Then my senior year, it's like crunch time. Everybody like applying for jobs, and then some of your friends start getting jobs, and then like I graduated, and I ain't really had nothing lined up. I was
wow,
like I was living at my girlfriend at the time house or whatever, and like everybody like starting to work, and I'm like, man, I'm a bum right now. Like I ain't really got nothing going on, so it's like, but it's like when you graduate. I'm gonna just be honest. I feel like a lot of people graduating is kind of like, man, I'm about to be making $80,000 like straight out of college, and it's like,
okay,
I couldn't even get a call back.
They don't even know my number.
Like, how I'm gonna get to this $80,000 and get my BMW, man? I can't even get a call back. So like, I'm spending time on job boards, and like somebody like before I graduated, like one of my fraternity brothers, he'd be like, man, like when I came out, I don't really had nothing lined up. So start applying now, even though you ain't graduate yet. Just start applying. Just prepare for it.
Yeah. So
like I'm starting to apply. I'm getting rejection after rejection. And I'm like, I ain't really got no set direction at this time. So I'm just like, whoever in healthcare hire me.
Yeah.
That's where I'm gonna land at. Then like some few months after I graduated, I got my first job in the quality and compliance department, working for a laboratory in Rock Hill.
Okay, shout out to the Rock.
So So I ended up, I'm like, okay, when they hire me, I'm like, yeah, say less. I'll work today.
ASAP.
I got 1,040 rejection letters in my email. I can start the day right now.
Facts.
So now I'm like the quality aspects of healthcare. Like I didn't necessarily want to work in a laboratory, but it was like, whoever hire you, it's whatever.
At
it's
this
like,
point, yeah.
let me get my foot in the door. But I didn't really want to work in a laboratory long term, but I kind of like quality stuff. So like quality is pretty much, you doing like the check downs and like audits like in the healthcare world and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, I think this kind of cool, but I want to do it like somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I probably worked at that job for like a year until I got laid off. And
it is what it is. Hey, yeah. But tell me about, because I know Tree, Mariah, even Maya, they try to give you hell about Denzel was really bumming it. You living with Tree. Tree was taking care of you. How? And at this point, y'all were pretty serious in y'all's relationship. I don't know if Callie was was in the womb yet, but I'm just. Tell me about the emotion, as far as like, being a male figure, obviously we come with these stigmas of like, you provider, what I'm saying? You gotta make sure you own your A game, especially now. Like I would hate to be in the dating world now because they asking for too much. I'm gonna be like, look, shawty, you ain't getting that from me. You know what I'm saying? So tell me about like the mental aspect of what you were actually going through, during this time. Because like us all, when we graduate, we want to get a job immediately, make $80,000, which is crazy now that $80,000 is the new $50,000 to $55,000 in this time. So you got to really think about that. It's like everything is inflating, as we go. But where was your mindset at? Like what conversations did you have with yourself deep down? Like how was you feeling? Because to me, as I get older, I'm like, bro, it's not like you was not trying. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you wasn't putting forth the effort. But it take people like, a Tree to say, look, you know what I'm saying? I got you. You know what I'm saying? Or giving you the spot to crash. But I know mentally you like, man, this is weak. You know what I'm saying?
It is mentally draining, but like most college kids, they feel like they're going to come out of college and make money instantly. So it's like, I don't really had nothing going on. It was like, man, you would look like, kind of like coming, like a lot of people don't really go to college necessarily around my way. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like when you go, you're supposed to like automatically like be
that's where you went for, right? You're supposed to be
yeah. You're supposed to come out and be rich like instantly.
Facts.
And it was kind of like, you do feel like you failed in a sense. So and then you see people, you look on social media, you see people getting their new job offers and stuff like that, and you ain't really got nothing. It was so bad. I even applied to like a restaurant and they wasn't even hiring me at that time. Like it was like nobody was hiring me. I couldn't get nothing. I was everywhere, man. I was on it. I was completely unemployed at one point. Yeah. I'd say definitely it was beating you up. It'll beat you up. Mm-hmm. And then at that time, Tree, but she was still in college at that time. She had like 2 restaurant jobs. Right. At one, she had Kmart and then like Longhorn. I'm like, she got 2 and I ain't got none right now. It was like, dang, I ain't really got nothing going on for myself. Man.
Yeah. How did that? Did you have people that you could talk to as far as like, me? I would be like the type of person I am. I'd be like, man, I'm really wasting. Like, I would feel like I'm an invasion on Maya. Like, I need to get out of here. Like, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna go back home.
Yeah, I felt like that.
What made you stay though?
Huh?
What made you stay and be like, nah, I'm gonna figure this out? Because you could have easily said, I'm gonna go back home.
Yeah, like I could have gone back home. That was an option, but as far as like back home, as far as like resources and stuff, like something as simple as like cell phone towers, like. Mm-hmm. When you get out of like the main cities of South Carolina and go to these other parts of South Carolina, like Wi-Fi connection, like I needed to be dialed in to like society, or like when I got a call to say, come interview somewhere. Yeah. It was a little different back home than it was like, you got more resources in Columbia. This simple. And my mom was in Charlotte at the time, so I was back and forth between Charlotte and Rock Hill, pretty much. So like, as far as like talking to people, I mean, she knew what was going on, and I mean, I used to talk to my mom about I used to get frustrated a lot about it, but like, other than I used to keep it inside. I'm a person like, I guess when stuff bothered me, like, I guess I just gotta fight my way out of it. I don't really.
Is that healthy though? You know, in this new day and age, we I hear a lot of stuff we talk about.
Technically speaking, it's not healthy, but you know, it's just one of those things, you know, when you just do I don't know, it's just like how you handle like issues. It's like when I'm going through some stuff, I'll probably just like keep it in and, you know, and I just fight it just silent. You know, I'll fight it silent, like, you know, but I'll be determined. Like, I was on the go. Like, I was probably applying for like 20, 30 jobs in one day. Mm-hmm. Like, I was knocking applications out like back to back to back to back to back. Like, I was a serial applying. Man, this ain't gonna be my final destination. So
yeah, but I'm pretty sure you learned a lot about yourself in that time, though. I think in situations like that, like the kind of how I'm working on my perspective is like, what can I learn out of situations like this? You know what I'm saying? Things gonna happen to the best of us, and I really try to live like that. I really try to be like I try to just say, you know, things happen for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Things happen to the best of people, and a lot of times I just look at it as like, well, you know, when I get out of this situation, who can I be able to help? You know what I'm saying? Who can I be able to say, you know, if this is what's going on, how can I, you know, help somebody else get out of that? But you can't, you know, obviously you're not feeling that as you're going through it. But it's definitely not good to go through things in silence, I think. And I go through I go through a lot of stuff in silence. Like, my mind just runs 1,000 miles a minute. I can't. I got to work on like really slowing down and really enjoying the moment, because my mind just go. So I asked if that's healthy, just because, you know, it's a lot of people, a lot of guys that might watch this and just be like, man, I understand, I relate the way he's at, but it's not. It's not healthy. And I still work on it.
I feel like we don't want to be weak, like, especially guys are weak. Like, nobody, you don't want to be weak. You don't want to look like a loser. Nobody want to be a bum. Like, you know, so yeah, we do got that pressure on our shoulder to kind of like be. Yeah. I don't know what it is that you're supposed to be, but you know, everybody want to feel like whatever it is that they feel like, you know, make them the man or whatever.
That machismo feeling.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
This is like, nah, I'm gonna just, you know, it's not. Now that I'm getting like older, like some of the stuff I look back on and be like, yeah, you need to, you know, get some of that stuff off your chest, man. It just. You know, or get help, or just simply ask for help whenever you need it. You can't do everything by yourself.
You can't, man. You can't at all. And that's what's up, man. So listen, to the people watching, y'all hear what we talking about, man. Listen, it gets a little. We talking about public, you know, healthcare, but listen, people go through real life stuff every single day, and it's just like, especially,
it all relates too.
Yeah, and they relate, and it's just like, especially as a black man, like, we just put a lot of stuff on our back, on a lot of stuff on our shoulder, and we just feel like, man, we gotta charge through this. You know what I'm saying? Because for one, we don't have it's not a lot of examples of men saying, "Hey, I need help," or going to their spouse saying, "Hey, I've never seen that in my life." You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like my pops and all. I don't know if he ever went to my mom and like, "Look, I need, like, this is what I'm going through. This is how I'm feeling." Yeah. And then now it's so bad, and I feel like a lot of things are being held because of social media. Like, women see men, you know, doing well. You know, you get these memes like, why, you know, like, and it's not real. Like, it's really, to some people it's real. Like, if you rich, if you with a scammer, you with, you know, somebody that's doing real good, like, it might be real to you, but they still sometimes go through mental spots and emotional spots as well. So it's like, you got to kind of cipher what's the real and what's fake.
I know how to draw that line in entertainment. Like, some of that stuff on, basically, one of my boys always say this. He be like, social media is a highlight reel. Yep. Everybody just going to show their new car, their new, like, you know, all the good stuff. And then when you, like, you stroll on, you see good. Right. So you be like, damn. everybody doing good, and look at me, I'm a bum over here.
But think about this though. Everybody show what's good, but let's just say somebody did show what's bad. They get talked about, ridiculed. Like
Yeah.
people, you know what I'm saying? So like this is one of the biggest things. Like people say crying on social media. Like people look down like, bro, you gotta be psychotic to be crying on social media. Okay, but my thing is, what if they actually really going through something, and like that's their way of saying I need help. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. It's some people that will play you, like they'll cry, make you feel soft, or make you, pull at your heartstrings and just trying to play you. But it's like you can't really win. It's like, okay, social media, yes, it's nothing but a highlight reel. But if I put something that really bothered me or anything like that, I'm gonna be canceled. I'm gonna be laughed at, talked about.
Big old black man, peanut soft, man.
It's really listen, you can't win. Hey, I'm not saying I'm gonna cry on social media. I'm just saying for people that do cry, listen, it's group chats that talk about people that cry on social media, and they get me y'all's tail. But if you need help, you definitely should say you need help. But it's kind of double-sided. You can't win for losing. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you do, how you do it, and trust me, if posting highlights is what that's what we all like to do. We like to celebrate those wins here and there. But you got to be come down to earth a little bit and just cipher it and just know that people go through real life situations too. But I want to go into we're going to the tail end of the conversation. I really want to ask, because you got kids, you know what I'm saying? You got a daughter and a son.
Right.
What do you how do you prepare? What is you and Tree's mindset on how you guys prepare your kids to face the real world? Like, do y'all I'm pretty sure y'all talked about it. Is there things that y'all want to teach and make sure that, I'm saying, are you gonna spoil your kids? Are you not gonna spoil them? Like, not saying you got them doing dirty. They might you getting a Toyota for your first car, or you getting we're gonna put you up here. Like, how do y'all, parenting wise, how do you think you want to raise your kids to be level-headed as possible?
So like me and Tree, we talk about a lot of different stuff. So that's one good thing. We communicate and we kind of like come to a middle ground on a lot of different stuff, because like the way that I grew up and the way that Tree grew up, we kind of grew up in pretty much different places.
Yeah.
So at times we do got different perspective on different stuff. So there's some stuff that she want to stay close to, that she kind of was raised with, and there's stuff that I kind of want to stay true to, that I was raised with.
Gotcha.
But coming to like reality, and reality is sometimes we got to know that we got to make our own rules compared to like, how my mom and dad was raising me compared to like how her mom and dad raised her.
Right.
So pretty much for like our kids, I know for me, it's like my parents weren't rich, but they weren't like, they invested in me for sure. Like,
gotcha.
Like Christmas time came through, like, they made sure that I had like, like some nice clothes on. There was time I had like 4-wheelers and stuff like that. So like, my dad went out working, or you go find him a good deal on a 4-wheeler. Came through the block and I have your 4-wheeler. It was like, so I would say, even though they weren't rich like that, they knew like how I was saying earlier in my story, like my mom, like she wanted to keep me from
the outside
the business they were making, and from pretty much messing up their investment pretty much. So they kind of gave me like a stepping stone. So now that I'm a parent, like step up on a stepping stone. I'm not saying like they weren't doing their thing. It's kind of like I want to build another stepping stone for my kids, and I want them to put them on like a higher type of pedestal than what I was on. Like I want to give them experiences that I never had. Like for example, like my daughter just had a 6th birthday. We celebrated out in Dallas. Yeah. Like I wasn't on no airplane or going across the country. Like I never even changed time zone until I was like older, and then my daughter already changed time zone. So like how we want to I want to give my daughter experiences now. I want her to be diverse. Like I want her to see like the lifestyle that I had like growing up. I want her to see that. I want to see her mom's lifestyle. I want her to see like different family members. I want her to know that different people are you know, everybody not really the same. Everybody
Right.
got different type of things. And I want her to be diverse enough in that. And I also like, you know, let her know that she's fortunate in some of the stuff that she got. But at the same time, I don't want you like, just because you went to Dallas and the kid across the street didn't go to Dallas, I don't want you to be like one of those kids like, you know, you're not going to Dallas.
Make you feel better.
Yeah, I don't want her to feel like she's better than nobody, but I want her to have like good experiences, and I want her to have better experiences. I want her to get like more exposure to stuff, like how I was saying I was coming out of high school, not really like I knew I wanted to go to college. Like I want her to kind of like be navigating through college and kind of, high school and kind of like have like different options. Like if she want to go to the HBCU, she know like the different types of HBCUs, she know the different types of PWIs. I'm thankful for the friend groups, like y'all, like everybody in different career choices. Like you know, you physically you see that, you can visualize it. You see people really like now. I know people that are doctors and lawyers and engineers and, you know, all these different career paths.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, you know, I could pick up a phone and just call like a lawyer any second.
Yeah.
And do that when I was younger, unless it was like saw family members calling lawyers for a court date or something like that. So, you know, it's like, you know, it's like I want my kids to be mentally diverse.
Yeah.
And like experiences, knowledge, like a lot of different things. Like, yeah.
Man, that's crazy, man. I think that's the best explanation I ever heard. Because a lot of times, you know, obviously, you know, which is, I think in our own right, we deserve that. Like your mom prayed for you to be better than what she was. You know, your dad probably prayed to say, I want you to be better than me. Like my dad tell me all the time, like, you know, all I ask is that you be better than me. He been telling me that since I was like 5, you know, maybe younger than that, but he was just like, listen, I want you to grow up to be better than me. You know what I mean? And if your parents, like, that's what they want for you, like, you know, as the common goal, like, I want you to be better than me. I want you to, you know, take it another notch than me.
Just stop right here wherever I stopped at.
Right.
Even if I was a millionaire, I want my kids to be a billionaire. You know, don't stop at me. Like, look, like, okay, my daddy got $1 million. I got to get $1 billion.
Yeah, let's go up a notch. And
like even when my kids have kids, like if they say like, yo, I want to give my kids something that I never had, I'm not gonna feel offended by that,
right?
Because you know it's got to start somewhere. It's like a step stool. Yep. So pretty much like my parents, they laid their step stool down. I jump on it. I got to put another one down. They got to get on it. They got to put another one down.
Yeah, that's the
everybody going up, man.
That's a bet, man. I like I said, that was the best explanation I ever seen, and I think, you know, that's the whole purpose of the podcast. We talk about the exposure part, the experiences. You know, exposure leads to expansion. You know, growing up, you know, your parents only knew their circle. We talk about, you know, being first. I ain't gonna say first generational college students, but a lot of our parents never went to college, so they never really got the diversity of meeting different people that were in different fields. All they knew is your auntie, grandma, uncles. You know, they all doing something within their city, and everybody's so close by. So giving people or giving kids the opportunity to see people do so many different things and create so many different experiences, I think you and Tree on the right track as far as just how you want to, you know, groom people, and along the way you know you do things bigger and better, right? Like, okay, I had a Honda, but Cheddar was bad. Like, it made noise. It broke down every week. I had to walk to school, ride bikes. I ain't gonna get you a Honda. Maybe I get you a Corolla, not a Corolla, but you know, just something better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so like better than what I had. But then sometimes I'll be like, nah, you need a Honda so you can learn what I went through. Cause it's that balance of like, you want your kids to be tough. I struggled with that
before, but then I got to the point where it's like, you know what? I don't even want my kids to struggle no more. Like, I have my struggle, I have my ups and my downs or whatever. So now it's to the point, it was like, you know what? I want to teach I could get you the nice car, but just know, like, you gotta work to get a nice car, or
right.
You know, like at any minute you could lose this car.
You can lose it. You can take it away.
I could lose my job tomorrow. You never know. Like, you know, and I got to give this all back. Just, you know, I want to teach that when I'm giving my kids nice stuff, is like,
it could be taken away.
Don't take your opportunity, don't take your resource. Like I know a lot of people, like I've seen some kids that came from solid resources.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of, they blew their parents like stepping stone or whatever.
Yeah.
Trying to chase, something else or whatever. Not being grateful for the opportunity that they had. So yeah,
that's key, man. Well, we appreciate that, man. Listen, it's been a good conversation, man. I'm telling you, man. Me and Denzel be in the same group chat every day. And me, I'm in the group chat, but it's really like social media to me. I just kind of watch, stay alone. If I see something, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I see something, I'm like, oh, I ain't gonna respond on that because I don't want them to jump on me. You know what I'm saying? So I just be like, all right, I'm gonna stay back. But it's good to be able to sit down and talk with you and just kind of pick your brain a little bit about, what y'all go through, life and stuff like that, which I got to just do better at is just, being able to pick up the phone and reach out to people. Everybody get in their own personal lifestyle, personal bubble. So it's kind of, we all understand, but I do want to expand out, get more genuine conversations going, get more, ask questions. Like it's some stuff that I go through now. I'm pretty sure like you probably already been through. So I need to be like, man, how do you, get through this? You know what I'm saying? Even though I've been with my girl a little bit longer than you've been with Tree, but you guys are, you adulted a lot faster than what I have. So it's just like y'all got way different experiences, and so it's always cool. But man, Denzel, we came to the end of the conversation, man. I hope it's been a good conversation for you, man. I had fun just chopping it up, but the last thing that I got for you, right? So I always do these questions. So I got 6 questions. You got to answer each question in 5 seconds.
Oh,
and that's it. 5 seconds. And so we'll go through that. And then I also want you to have a recommendation on your mind. All right. Okay. So like that's how we, keep the podcast going, is recommendation, getting into other people's networks. So just have something thinking in your mind, or somebody that you feel like is a good fit for the podcast. But I'm gonna go through these questions. You ready?
I gotta get my trivia mind.
It ain't nothing crazy, but it's just a little fun thing I like to do. So you got 25 hours in a day, not 24. You got an extra hour. How do you spend the extra hour?
My extra hour, with the family, man. Okay. Just trying to find a new experience, new restaurant, something like that.
Yeah, we got foodies on here, man. Denzel and Tree foodies, man.
Yeah. Me and the gang, we going out to eat. We gonna find something new.
Yeah. Okay. What's something / activity you can do every day besides sleep?
Activity I could do every day?
Yeah.
Music, man. Hip hop.
Okay.
I'm a music fan, so I'll probably go just check in some music.
Yeah, you're a big hip hop fan. What's your theme for your birthday? What was the theme?
Oh, it was a no limit party.
Oh yeah,
no limit. Oh yeah,
no limit. Yeah, that no limit. Okay. What's more memorable to you, movies or music?
Music.
Oh yeah. Well, you already said we listen to music all day, so music definitely. That's easy. Who's your favorite artist? That's a good question, right? You don't got 5 seconds, but just who. Like, what era do you love the most as far as, like, music? Who can you listen to every day?
My era is, like, mainly my high school era. I was in high school middle school, high school, about 2005 to 2009-ish. So my top 2, Jay-Z and Lil Wayne.
Got you. Yeah, Jay-Z. I know you go up for Hov. That's your guy.
Yeah. Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, my 2 guys.
Okay. If you could time travel, what period would you go back to?
College days.
College days? Okay, cool.
Go back to college days.
Favorite TV show to binge watch?
Dang. I don't binge a whole lot of TV. I'm not big on shows, but if I do, I probably watch like a docu-series, like some, I don't know, like some drug dealing or some gangster
Narcos.
Type. Yeah, Narcos or some American Gangster, the series type thing. I don't know.
Okay, got you. So I'm a big Power guy myself, so I like to watch Power, Narcos, anything like dealing with the drug. Like I feel like if I was in a different life, I'd be a different Way different person. But
I just finished a BMS series not too long ago.
yeah,
So,
the BMF was cold. I like that one. What? And then this is the last one, bro. What's the quality people enjoy about you?
I don't, I don't,
Don't say you don't know.
I don't know what people enjoy. I mean, I guess some people, depending on who's around, they say they laugh a lot, or I play a lot. So
Got you. What Tree tell you?
Tree would probably say I joke a lot too. So
Yeah.
I got her in with the laughs. I just toss a couple of jokes in.
That's the game plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, man. Bet, man. Well, listen, man. Thank you so much for. Man, I want to say thank you, and I appreciate you hopping on the show, man. Spitting the game and just giving us kind of the lay of the land of how you kind of went through your earlier years. I think people can really learn a lot. I think you come from a very small small minority city, and you were able to test the waters of how you expand your mind, your friend groups, and just really learn about yourself. And I think a lot of people are scared of that. A lot of people are scared to go into different social circles, or they don't want to. They stay so comfortable. They go with what's comfortable, hanging with the same group of people. Staying close to the city, getting in trouble, not staying focused. So I think you gave us a great variety of just the type of viewers, listeners that we have, and I want to say thank you, man.
Later, man.
Yeah, for sure. And then who's your recommendation? And we're gonna head on out. Get y'all out of here.
Trying to think two people. I'm not sure what careers you've done so far. I'm gonna give you two. I'll say the Miss Evelyn Drayton that I spoke on earlier.
Okay.
Her son, Justin Drayton. He's from around my way. He's out in Dallas, civil engineer right now.
Okay.
I think he built like planes or something. So if you get him, you could
talk to him.
Or Stephen Bradley, my fraternity brother. He went the engineering route, then switched to investment banking. So, I don't know what you...
That's crazy. I'm going to take both, man. What I ask all the people that, kind of just sit on the podcast, I just ask that if you could send me however they like to be contacted, whether that's social media, whether that's Instagram, social media like Instagram, or telephone, you can send me their cell number, or if they do email, I run a lot of people that just do email just because they don't know me, so they be like, I'll give you my email. But just give me their information, and then if you could just let them know, like, hey, man, I sat down with my boy Armand. He doing a podcast. Just hit him up, and we'll get going. But other than that, bro, send me their information. I'm going to let you get back to it with the fam. Tell everybody I said what's up, and y'all have a good night, man.
I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
All right, you too, bro.